Welcome to the Mixorcist.
EB, what's going on, man?
Rock and roll. I don't know. It's Halloween, and we're having a Mixorcist Halloween party is what we're doing.
Why not? If we do one show a year,
on YouTube.
It's got to be this one. If we do one show a year, it's got to be this one.
It's the Mixorcist,
this is
right?
it. That's right.
What are you going to do, right?
Who else are you going to kill? This episode has been brought to you by Captain Howdy.
That's right. You could
purveyor of fine spirits.
You could fit like 2-3 bodies in there, no problem.
Easy. So what's been happening with you? We'll talk plugins in a bit, but first we got to do something for Halloween. We got to talk about horror movies. What have you been watching?
Oh, I've been watching a ton of stuff. Not a lot of horror. Actually, I got caught up in I discovered the morning show, so I've been watching all of those. There's like zero horror elements in that one, right?
Go back and watch reruns of Friends next.
You know, it's better than that.
Too soon?
Poor Chandler.
Too soon?
Was it Chandler? Yeah. That sucks. 54.
Yeah, it does. Uh-huh.
Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Oh, well. What do you say about that? No, but I did start watching The House of Usher Follow the House of Usher on Netflix. It's fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very good? Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, there's so many Poe references. It's almost comical. And comedy, dark comedy, drama, some jump scares, a couple of horror elements. American Horror Story is another one I've been watching. But none of which did I even pull up any pictures here. I don't even know. Let's.
All good.
YouTube
what
is
do you
not
got?
receiving.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
YouTube was giving me a warning there, right? So.
Oh yeah. About what? Making jokes about Matthew Perry?
No, not receiving enough video to maintain streaming. I don't know. We're recording this too, so if the stream's all fucked up, we will upload.
Just post it. That's
later.
Cool. Yeah. I thought they were mad about your Matthew Perry joke.
Yeah. it tagged my name there. Let's just
Eric, you've been very bad. There's your picture.
Let's good. Get the viewing experience up here, right?
Yeah, that looks good.
So Follow House of Usher is great. It's pretty new on Netflix, and if you have Netflix, I heartily recommend it as a horror fan and comedy. Yeah, dark comedy, kind of sick. There's aspects of Succession in it actually, which is an interesting angle that they put on there. But yeah, that was good. What do you got?
You'll see. I've been watching. I went to see the new Exorcist in the theater. And, I first when I got my tickets, I noticed it was like 14A. And I'm like, this can't be good. No decent horror movies 14A. So I brought the whole family, including like my daughter, who will not watch horror movies. But if her boyfriend goes, she'll watch horror movies. So we went and saw The Exorcist. That was like my Christmas present, basically. Just watch a horror movie with me. And it wasn't scary, number one. And there were a couple of cameos that'll, make your the hair on the back of your neck stand up just from a pure glee perspective. But it's going to be, it's going to be hard to top that first one. So I wasn't expecting a ton, which is good because you don't really get a ton. There wasn't a lot of great effects or anything like that. It was just meh. It was okay. And then what I did love, and I hate to keep going back to the original Exorcist, but it just keeps working. It keeps giving. And there's a documentary right now on Shudder about William Friedkin, who just passed away. We may have mentioned that previously. And you and I both watched it, and you and I both thought it was excellent, like one of the best documentaries. Yeah, Friedkin Uncut.
There's two of them, right? So there's Friedkin Uncut, which is the first one that we watched. That's on Tubi.
Right.
This one goes over all of his movies, and for those who may not know, William Friedkin, that's the French Connection. That's what was my brain? That's
the one with Pacino, where he's like he's in the Cruising. That's it. But he also did the 12 Angry Men remake, which was as good and as well cast as the first one. Great piece of work. But he's obviously known first and foremost for The Exorcist. And there was a documentary just about The Exorcist. Oh, that's a nice picture. Was this
is
it?
the one.
Leap of Faith?
This is the one just about the Exorcist.
Yes.
Exorcist, yeah.
And it's good. Like in the first documentary, you realize he's a good esoteric, no nonsense kind of director. But in this one, you realize the guy's an art historian. He understands music. He understands how actors work and how to select good actors. He's got great intuition. And you find all of this out by watching him just talk from his easy chair with his belt pulled up way too high. Like watch his belt's up just below his nipples kind of thing. That's the only thing that throws you off for the whole movie. He's like, are you going to fix that? Anyway.
They never fix it.
That's right. They reveal some stuff about the making of the movie that was just brilliant. If you have a chance to watch this, you can't miss it. Great documentary. You and I then both watched Hell House LLC.
Yes.
And I had high hopes for it. It was pretty good. A good couple of scares in there, but it's kind of a found footage Blair Witch type of vibe to it.
That's right, yeah.
And there's a couple of spooky moments, though, like the clown just standing there in the stairway just staring at you. I don't want to ruin it for you, but if you haven't seen it, go grab it. I hear the sequels aren't as good. That's not surprising. And what else happened? I was going to go to The Thing in Niagara, Frightmare in the Falls, but Kevin bailed on me.
Oh, that's too bad.
His daughter was in some stupid sport thing, but it was like a big Friday the 13th reunion, like all the people from Friday the 13th Part 4. Corey Feldman was there.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I'd love to meet Corey Feldman. I don't know why, I would just love to.
It's all the famous people, right? You know.
Yeah,
Didn't you meet Barbara Crampton last year on that
I did. Barbara Crampton, I met Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses. That guy's genius. Yeah, Uncle Otis. And who else did I meet? A couple of the Jasons. And last year it was the girl.
Up on the editing here. There's two of us. There we go.
It's okay. It's a live stream.
We'll do it live.
Everything's forgivable.
We'll do it live.
Yeah. Anyway, so those are my big movies. I don't know, did you catch anything else in the horror genre?
I did. Let's see what I got here. I had one more movie, and I can't remember anything, of course. What else did I have? You know what? I don't actually see it here.
It's all good.
Oh yeah, here it is. Here we go.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I did. Let's do this. It looks like the stream might not be working really well.
Oh yeah. You told me about this. What did you think?
I think it was not a waste of time. Let's put it that way.
Good.
That's the best way to put it, I guess. Right? Not a waste.
It's got all those award badges on it.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. A bit of like a stalker / infiltrator kind of movie. If you remember the movie Parasite, how they kind of work their way into the lives of these people and stuff, and it's got aspects of that. It's plenty of murder and guts and gore and all that stuff. So
More Jascore.
Yeah, a little bit like almost Talented Mr. Ripley, if you remember that movie. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was all right. A bit of all right. So I'd recommend. Where was that? That was on Shudder.
Yeah.
And I've been. I got a list of stuff I wanted to watch on Shudder. I just got so kind of busy with things. Plugins.
No time
yes,
for TV. Same here.
Well, I got into cameras, right? So I
know you did.
Video, and nuts.
But tell me. I mean, I'm happy to talk about the cameras, but let's talk about plugins for a minute. Have you been using anything new that you really love? What are you using these days?
Well, there is the Acustica stuff, right? So let's take a look at maybe that. Let's see here. I'm just going to have to get faster with this somehow, huh? Let's go through. Right now, I think for it's important for people to go right now to Acustica's site and grab this pumpkin plugin for free.
Yes.
Right here. So this is like a clipper. It's a adjustable knee clipper. So you have different modes, right? There's like a whole bunch of different distortion modes, but within that, you can then further adjust, the degree, the reaction, and the saturation. It shows you there. You can see that it shows you how much the gain's being limited by and stuff. It's got the oversampling. Lots of cool Acustica stuff. I mean, they've really come a long way with their products. I mean, I'm always saying that, but the truth of the matter is it just keeps improving keeps improving. Like some of their past
does.
releases, Mystic. This one goes back a few months, but that is based on the Tree audio tube gear.
Right.
They've mixers that are like 5 figures for like a couple channels, right? Good stuff. Good.
Are you liking it?
Tube passive gear. I love this. This is one of my favorite Acusticas, I think, for a long
Really?
time. Yeah. Straw, which is what stuff is
Like a
all this
Nashville
stuff?
desk?
That's the quad sphere. It's sphere. Like if you know the history, like sphere and to a certain degree quad electrodyne. That's it's based on that lineage of stuff and the magnetic recorders studio. Like they went into that studio to do it. They did a couple like that. They did another one called Cardinal. This stuff's based on the Flickinger consoles. Flickinger's super rare. I think
That's the Nashville one.
He only made like I don't know 30 of them or something. Sly Stone owned one. A lot of classic. Muscle Shoals had one. A lot of classic albums were done on the Flickinger stuff. He was a bit of a character, but apparently pretty genius. This does sound like he was a genius because man, it's like a clean Neve. Is that I don't know. It's big and bloomy, but it's also tighter. It's hard to describe. And then they released Salt, and man, whoa, this one is
it's a fun toy.
This has 3 of Acoustica's EQs from their earlier suites, right? So it's got the pink, which is the API. It's got the gold, which is Neve, and sand, which is SSL. But they didn't just recycle the libraries here. What they actually did was build entirely new circuits, because you'll notice in the middle there's a bandwidth control, which you don't really get on you don't get that on a Neve, right? The 80 series had a switch, like a high Q switch, but that was it. But it's got fully adjustable frequencies and bandwidth, but it's based on like identical circuits that they made themselves and tested, and then it responds identical to these vintage units. It's also got the hyper technology, which means that you're not waiting anymore. When you only change, a year ago, you changed the frequency on the plug-in and you wait, right, for that to click.
Sit back.
You don't wait anymore. It's super fast and it's super responsive. So, and
And not a ton of CPU load.
Not a ton of CPU load, not a ton of size either. So they've really just continued to optimize and get more efficient. And finally, here we go. This guy sounds great. You can really crush stuff with this, or you can go transparent with it. It's kind of got everything. It does impart a bit of its own tone, but it's actually kind of a nice shimmer to it, I guess is probably how I describe it. A nice,
But
it
it can also thicken a vocal. I've been using it a ton on podcasts just to play with it, and if you're slamming stuff a bit, it really thickens up the tone. So it's a fun machine. You getting some more messages from YouTube?
It's telling me that it's lower than recommended bitrate, which is just weird. But it's only
sorry for you guys out there.
6,300K, and I was sending it double that, so I don't know.
All right. Well, if Eric and I look like Max Headroom, I apologize.
We're probably going to have to go with the upload. This is the first live stream we've done in a while, and Stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate, but that's just weird because I don't have it set that low. So I don't know. I think I saw this once before, and it's fine. So
okay, good.
And if it's not fine,
So here's the challenge that we hadn't planned for. Let's go backwards for a minute. And what plugins have you been, if any, pulling out because you're like, what they do? You need something, and so you're like, I'm just going to go back in the tool chest and pull out something I haven't used in a while. And you end up being like, I missed this. You got any of those?
Q-Clone by Waves, which is weird because I told myself I'd never give Waves another cent after that stuff they pulled, and I haven't, and I don't think I will. But the way Q-Clone works, I'm sure half of the viewers know this already, but it's you can sample EQs with it. You can, you hook up the input to the output. There's a bit of a routing maze that goes on. But you can take your analog EQ, and on the plugin, you hit capture, adjust your EQ on that track, the way you want it. You're adjusting the analog EQ. It's sampling it in real time and putting the curve in digital land. And then you press hold, and then you move on to your next track, capture, move your EQ. So for those of us that like the tactile experience of fiddling with the knobs, this kind of gives you the best of both worlds.
Sure.
And,
I was going to ask you, when you were showing Pumpkin, which apparently is going to be expanded, more features are coming out in a paid version, I read somewhere, I think. But do you like the ability to visualize what the plugin's doing to the sound? Like, is that essential to you? Because you kind of miss that when you're using something like Salt, and it's just all, it's good to train and trust your ears, but every now and again you're like, is there too much 500 or is it me? So you go and you look and you see like a graph, and it's like, yeah, there's too much 500 there. It's okay to pull it. Like it's dumb, because you shouldn't be going by like paint by numbers. You should be going by what you hear and what you sense. But it's just like, sometimes it's nice to be able to look at it and say, oh yeah, problem area. Like where's all that 3K coming from? And sometimes shorten down the troubleshooting process. I don't know. I like it. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the visual feedback's really useful. Like, I remember live we would run like FFTs as the show was going on. So something was feeding back, or there was just this weird frequency you couldn't figure out. You could look on the thing and get exactly where it was. If in the case of feedback, that just comes up like a spike, right? So you can see exactly where it was. Yep, tack down, gone, right? So that's useful. I think if you're mastering and you think you hear something, well, is that the limiter working at this point? Is that a clipper working at this point? Like, you can see when the clipper's actually working, because mastering, you don't want it working certainly all the time. Like, you know what I mean? You want it working on the peak, if at all, right? If you want to put clipping on your master at all, you want it just for that, right? Just to give you that little maybe dB or something. I don't know. So that's not going to be on the whole time during the song, depending on the style. But so I think you want to be able to see when it's actually acting on the sound, right? So for that, it's really useful. I mean, I'll do stuff like null tests, phase tests. I'll use plugin doctor, Bertom EQ analyzer, just to see what's kind of going on with the plugins. So I like the visual thing. I hear also what you're saying though about that it's a trap that you can fall into, because you don't want to be mixing with your eyes.
Sometimes, when you think about, let's say, a Neve, for example, and the fixed bandwidth thing you were talking about, when you go and look at a graph, like let's say, Kirchhoff EQ or Waves HEQ, they all purport to have Neve-like, API-like curves. And when you play with it visually, it doesn't look like what you think it's going to look like. So you start messing with the Q, and all of a sudden that the immediacy of having a Neve equalizer, which is like, these are the buttons. If you like the buttons, you turn these buttons. If you don't like it, pick a different tool. And so the Neve is handy for that it's like, if you want that tone, it's just so much easier to turn knobs and just trust that you've either got too much, too little, or this is the wrong device. But sometimes the visualization can mess that up on you. But let's go back to something I was mentioning before. Are there any plugins that you've gone back to other than Q-Clone? For me, Howie Weinberg Mastering Console. I put it off to the side forever, and then busted it out again, because the input gain staging or the gain staging across the plugins a little sometimes fiddly. But oh man, does that ever sound good? And also brought back UAD's Manly Vox box, just straight into, like, if I'm not using my Neve here, my UA 610 solo for, I like doing that for promo work. I do a lot of those voiceover, and I was like, hey, that kind of shit. So I want stuff that's punchy and in your face. So if I'm not using one of those two, I'll go into a UAD Apollo and bring up the Manly Vox box. And now, because you have it on Spark native, if you just record straight into something like a Sound Devices or something that's really clean, you can actually put it over top in your mix rather than having it at the input, like the unison inputs. If you're a UAD user, you'll know what I'm talking about. And oh my God, the EQ on that, the passive EQ is only 3 bands. You've got bass boost, you got mid dip, and then you've got a high shelf dip. I think it's only a shelf. Can't remember. And you've got 30 different frequencies to choose from, but the bass at 30 If you're looking for that FM DJ radio voice kind of thing, man, it's kicking. And the dual compressors, it's got a regular compressor, and if you want to, you can switch the de-esser to limiter mode, and it behaves kind of like an opto. It's a little bit slower. Man, I'm telling you, you drive that thing right, and there's nothing to do in the mix. Maybe some mastering EQ, just to pull a little bit of the, me and my 240, right? So that one I keep going back to. And what else? I've been playing with HD Cart and Cinematic Rooms.
Oh yeah,
for reverbs. Those are nice, eh?
HD Cart.
I found those
super sweet. Cinematic Rooms. Yeah, that's those are they're kind of the same programmer, right? Reverb Foundry and Liquid Sonics.
Totally. Totally.
Roughly the same designer and.
They're so nice.
HD Cart, that's like the best sounding, lexicon emulation I think I have in the box.
Yeah.
But you were talking about Universal Audio, and I think it's only fair to tell the viewers that probably only for a few more hours you can get the LA 2A compressor plugin for free, which I did, and wow, it sounds welcome to the world of UAD.
Yeah.
It sounds great. I love this thing.
I told you 2 years ago, remember we did a favorite plugins episode, and it's like you can turn that thing on and not even have the knobs move in the meter, the gain reduction meter, and it still does something to it. It's like, oh, this sounds good. And it's tubey, but it's like bottom end tubey, not mid-range tubey. Phew. Nice one. Nice one.
And then, what else I got here? There's another one that was free. It was the, let's see if I can find it here. There's another free one. I don't know if it's still free, but let's see if we can get it up here. Pulsar W495. Now, Pulsar, like, I just remember Pulsar because you were asking, what plugins did I go back to? And I was doing some mastering, and like you, I used the Howie Weinberg mastering thing all the time. I was... most of last year, I was mastering most of my rock stuff using primarily that plugin. I think
it's toasty.
I had another stereo expander and a few things, maybe like a DC offset remover, a few things, right? Like an instance of Kirchhoff or something, but mostly the sound from that. And then I found something that I had a record to master that it wasn't working on. But then I realized that nothing's going to work on this record, so. But so I ended up getting the best results with the Pulsar, their Verimu. They've released some great stuff. They got that Verimu. They've got the
massive.
The massive passive suite. That's a sweet EQ. The 1178, which is like an 1176, but a little bit of a different sound. Now this guy, they've got a remake of the Benson Echo unit.
Oh yeah,
great stuff that they make.
And what is this one that you're looking at? I can't.
This is a Siemens W495.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a German made. I don't know. I think it was Siemens, Neumann, and Telefunken. I don't know, but it's of that kind of lineage and vintage. Really good stuff. Yeah. I put it on a few things, and I'm like, yeah, that's the sound. You can get those sounds in the Acustica Aqua stuff. I believe also that Tim Petherick did an emulation of that, which is really good. But this Pulsar stuff is like their interface is so sleek and it's so modern and it's so just usable. And the plugin opens up and it tells you if there's a new version right away, and you just download it and it installs, and you can oversample like up to 30, and it's all in that little hamburger menu. And I do love just using their plugins as well. So
nice.
And they're very me. I can get stuff really loud with that plugin in a smooth way. So that's Pulsar Audio is definitely a top-end company. Good stuff.
They've made great stuff in the past, 3-4 years, and I know Pure Mix, they gave away the 1178 with their subscription, and there's another one called the Smasher, which is really nice too. So I'm impressed with their stuff for sure. So
now, what about the world of Softsynths?
Oh yeah, so
Softsynth world that.
I haven't tried Soft Tube's Prophet yet. I'm a big Prophet nut. I love those. But I'm cool with either the Diva. I guess it's pretty. No, it's not the Diva, is it? It's something. It's the something 5. I can't remember what they call it. UHE's. It's their Prophet emulation.
Oh yeah, okay,
But
so
it's not.
the Diva's kind of their one, and they're one for all, right? So it's got like some rolling
That's it.
filters.
That's it.
And is that the one?
No, it's the other one.
Generic one.
It's called this. I think it's called the something 5. I'm gonna see if I can dig it up while we're talking.
Like Pro 5 or something.
But they came up with a new, like a 90s wavetable style, kind of like a little bit of PPG, a little bit of Ansonic here and there. And the name of it, I'll dig up the name of it in a sec. But it's really nice too.
Well, while you're doing
Cherry
that, I've got
audio.
one here. Check this out. I've not tried this one yet, but
Let me see.
Oberheim OBX.
Oh yeah, I saw
From
that.
GeForce.
I saw that.
The GeForce
I know.
stuff is great. They did the Oberheim 8 voice
Right.
last year, which is a really good one. But that one was also really expensive. I didn't end up buying it. But
Right.
I should check this
I
Black
remember
Friday
that.
because that's a plugin that I kind of always wanted. This OBX, I'm sure, is just brilliant. And
I
get
have-
more into the GeForce stuff.
We have, I think you and I both have it, another OBX that's really good. And I'm trying to remember who made it.
Oh,
It's not a
is that
big name.
Sonic Projects, OPX, is that the one?
Yeah, I think that's it. And that one's nice too. Okay, so the new one's called Harmonia by Cherry Audio. And it is like an 80s, 90s style synth, and it's really cool. And let me just get the name of their stupid Prophet emulator, and I'll kick myself when I get it. It's just bugging me. Why can't I remember? Their GX80 was another great product, by the way.
Here's Harmonia.
Yes.
That's sick. Actually, I've got the site right here. So
Just download it. Just download it while you're there. You know you're going to need
while
it.
you're there. Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
OctaveCAD is apparently pretty sick. I've not tried OctaveCAD yet, but that's apparently
No, I haven't either. Their
Really
mini
wicked.
Moog pedals were very cool.
there's the Mercury.
If you
It's
want-
looks like a Jupiter or something. Mm-hmm. Ooh, GX80. I bought the GX80, and that is money well spent. That
Is that like you bought the plug?
Superb. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you want to make something that sounds like basically like Vangelis,
Yep.
that's the tool. So let's look at UHE here and what their products
So,
are.
also stuff like who else had the GX? Keith Emerson had a GX80. I think
Probably.
Toto had one. Here's another one from them. Here's another one that I really like. It's the Dream Synth.
Which one? Oh, it's
The
beautiful.
Dream Synth.
Yeah,
That's an
I love that one too.
Amazing product. Dreams brought to life, indeed.
The Repro 5, REPRO 5 is
See if I can find that
UHE's.
one here.
That's UHE's
Oh, that's
Prophet
UHE.
5, and it's good. It's really nice.
Repro, I remember that now.
Yep.
That one's been out for a while too, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. And I feel like the soft tube one, maybe some people say it's a little warmer, a little more accurate, but I don't think it has the range of effects and flexibility that the Repro 5 has. I thought that was a very cool toy.
Here we go. I think the synth heads are going to know this one. They're going to know the UHG
They will.
stuff for sure.
No, it's not the Repro. It's not the Repro 1. It's the Repro 5. But I think you buy the one, you get the other.
Oh,
They're
I
like
see.
a
Okay.
bundle.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and I'm not sure what else. Like any hardware or something. I've been buying packs for Tonex.
Oh
My
yeah,
Amalgam Audio. I'm going to show you their site
sure.
because this stuff's just crazy. It's they've got a Halloween sale going on. There we go. Halloween
Ooh.
sale. 3 captures for the price of 2. 5 captures for the price of 3, or 10 captures for the price of 5. I do the 10 captures, and then all of a sudden you start sampling stuff, and it gets even better. So if we go to Tonex, check out this. This is sick, right? Here's a JCM 800, 2203. So this is his second shot at sampling a JCM 800. So when you buy this, you get that first one for free. So basically 2 amps. Awesome. Soldano. SLO 100. Oh, this might be my favorite of theirs yet.
That's a nice high gain.
Yeah, and it makes me want to buy like a Soldano. I'm like, okay, what amp would I get? Matchless HD30, Mezzo Boogie single rectifier, a whole bunch of two rock stuff.
We were talking about Soldanos back in university when you and I were in res together because we saw Clapton play one on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, dude, everybody played Soldano.
I dig that tone.
Everybody. Van Halen played one, but the blues guys played them. Yeah, everybody. Because what they are, they're like a Marshall, but they're a little bit more scooped, a little bit more headroom and bite. Oh, and the best solo like for leads. Oh, my God. Smooth,
like big sustain. Nice amp. These days, I'd probably take an EVH over one of those, though. I think. Although I do like two rocks. Two rocks are very nice.
Yeah, two rocks are top shelf stuff, right? Soldano's top shelf stuff. The 5150 is a great amp. Inside I'm not sure about the build quality, let's say, but they last long enough. They do the job, right?
Do the job. Do the job right.
So yeah, he went on a whole two rock bender. So he got all kinds of two rocks, Element, which is, I don't know which one this is. The Benchy is like a Benson. All these amps have a lot of character. Here's like an old Tweed from 57. Ooh, the Mezzo Boogie Mark II C+.
Oh yeah, the Mark II. That was a nice amp.
Everybody. Just like when the Soldano in the 90s, it was the Mezzo in the 80s. Right?
Yeah.
This is Master of Puppets used this amp, right? Supro, that's an old...
That's the Zeppelin,
old,
apparently.
Amp. Yeah, 1958. Ooh, Fender, and I didn't know Fender made this one. This is like a dual speaker V-shaped cabinet, and it's got a Tweed sound, but it's like bigger. Yeah, it's super sick. Another old Tweed, and then Marshall Super Bass. This would be nice. Like the Iron Maiden guys had these. AC/DC sometimes. Fox AC50, not the 30s. The 50 is the head. Silvertone, that's a crazy kind of fuzzy amp. It's amazing how like Tonex captures the character of the story. Like it's the closest thing to a real amp I've played ever in the digital world. Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
absolutely. Yeah.
And you just go straight through your interface, or you need to buy something?
No, you can just buy the software.
Okay.
And actually, when you if you go and buy the Tonex software, they have a thing called ToneNet, which is the user area, and the users just upload stuff. There's thousands and thousands of amps and pedals and speakers, and
too much choice.
It's all free, and
nice.
And some of it is super wicked, but it doesn't mean that you have to go through hundreds and hundreds of things to find something that's like good. Whereas when you get the paid profiles, it's like you're getting quality. It's now just a question of what flavor do you want. And like Tonex has an advanced training. It's got different modes for training, right? So you got quick, base, standard, right, and advanced. And standard is like, I don't know, 20 minutes to sample an amp setting. Advanced is 5 hours to sample one setting on an amp, right? And so when you buy this guy's stuff, the Amalgam stuff, you're getting like 20 profiles or something. He works on this stuff,
right?
Fender Bassmaster. There's your AC30. Tone King. I really like this one. I got picked this one up. Mark Knopfler used the Tone King for a while. He still does. Really good stuff. Fender Blackface, Vox, tons of Marshalls. Here you go. JTM 45. JTM 50, totally different sounds. You wouldn't think but the JTM 50's got a solid state rectifier in it. So when you see AC/DC and everybody's like, oh, they're using the JTM 45s, it's like, well, maybe they did, but when they heard the JTM 50, they much preferred that because it was tighter and it cuts through the mix better. Here's a Mark 5 Mezza Jack Britt. I don't know what it is. I used to know what it is. Brain fart on that one. GT100, which is like a 100 watt clone of a Marshall. Wicked amp. Here's your 5150. There's a high watt and orange. Blah 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 blah. But you see here, it's like
tons of stuff.
You could easily get your 10, your 10 profiles or whatever, and I'd say just do that if you have Tonex.
Yep.
Check out these profiles. They're just
I will.
They're wicked.
I'm itching for something new.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, why don't we'll cut this one off and let's get back to doing maybe a little plug-in walkthrough. I'd love to touch base on that Oram, the Opal comp
Oh, yeah.
Maybe do a deeper dive there if you got some time. And whatever else comes out new. I know UAD said November is going to be a big month for releasing stuff to the Spark native platform. So let's see what they come up with. And let's get back online and have some fun. It's been too long.
Yeah, it has been too long. And, you know, I forgot to do snippets, dude.
Oh, that's okay.
Here with us, Carrot. Would you like to leave a message? I'll see that she gets it.
Yeah, that's a good one. That never gets old. That one goes on just a little too long. Just a little.
Oh, yeah, just enough to be uncomfortable there, right?
Just enough to break something in one of your speakers.
Anyway, there we go. We're back. I hope this live thing is actually working to some degree.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
We did have it a little smoother in the past with all this, but
All good.
like you said, it's been a while. It's like riding a bike with 18,000 controls. It's like a bike, but it also has a cockpit and a gunning area and a mess hall.
All right, dude. It's good to see you.
Right
and
on,
good to see
man.
all you guys
Well,
out there.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everyone, and
Same
we
to you.
will be back. And if this stream again didn't come out right, we'll upload the recording. Maybe I'll stick some snippets in there. Fix a few things. Right? All right, man.
All right, dude.
All right, see you later. On the
See you
Mixorcist.
soon.
Cheers.